Good morning, Monday, June 29th. Time to head back down to Tayo High. I'm running out of everything, and I need to make a grocery run because we're down to saltine crackers and canned foods, and I need some new food, new provision. Thankfully, our friends dropped off another 4 or 5 pounds of super fresh tuna steaks, so I got to eat that for a little bit. But today it's a good time to. We're gonna be motoring for probably 3 hours. There is zero wind. It's incredibly calm today, so it's a perfect time to inspect my chain, my anchor chain. You know, we don't dock, and so that chain is in the water all the time, about 150 feet of it. And there's no way to tell what the condition is because it's in the water. So while we're motoring is the perfect time to do that. So I'm going to get in the chain locker and go through basically link by link and make sure it all looks good. All right, here by the chain locker. Time to put some gloves on because it gets pretty mucky down there, and it's good that the chain doesn't get any barnacle growth. I guess for some reason maybe too much motion down there and it just grinds them off, but that's good. I'm grateful for that, because the snubber on the other hand gets very disgusting running. This is the snubber, and it gets a lot of nasty growth and that's barnacles in there. I'm gonna have to clean them off, and they love the hook too, so we're gonna clean that up. But yeah, we're gingerly gonna go through the chain. I got nothing but time. You know, it's link by link. It's tedious, but it's a little meditative. And the biggest benefit is after this is done, and when you're in bed and it's blowing 30 knots, and you're wondering if your chain is okay. So it's good to know that things are good, so you can sleep properly. What I'm looking for is just overly rusted. And make sure that they're not worn out at the point of contact where it doesn't start to lose its shape. You know, see, these are still good, but after a while this part starts getting thinner. And this is all G4 steel, and it's very hard stuff, so it holds up well. But you know, the seawater it doesn't stop and just try to find its way to break everything. So we'll make sure that that's not happening here. The first 100 feet are usually pretty good because they're in the sand a lot, and they drag, and they basically get sandblasted constantly in there. So they're usually shiny and clean, and it's easy to see everything. The part that stays in the water column, which is usually between 100 and 150 feet of the chain, that's where it's more tricky because it doesn't get that benefit of getting cleaned up by the bottom. You know, it's assumed that if the weld on the chain link fails or cracks, the chain link starts opening before it breaks. So looking for any visible cracks or any separation, which would be a catch not too far from when things start to break. I'm on my blue markers, 50 feet, 150 to go. The last time I did this, I was at dock in Santa Rosalia, so that's much easier because you spread it out on the dock and kind of walk it. and the time before that was in San Diego. I strung it along the dock and did the same thing, but I have to say that this is more detailed. I don't know if it makes a difference that it's wet, but it seems to me that you can see things better. $75. Still looking really good, actually. I'm very happy with the way this chain looks. Still. $100. All right, I think everything looks great, so fantastic. So now I gotta reverse the chain and kind of roll it back the other way so that when I anchor, it doesn't try to get tangled up in the gypsy, which Tayo High is a pretty crowded anchorage, and that's not a good spot for that to happen, especially single-handed when you have to go back and forth from the elm station to the bow, usually about once or twice, unless things go sideways. So make sure things are ready and do what you can to minimize problems. Anchoring solo is actually super simple. There's less arguing too, because there's only one person to blame if things don't happen properly. So yeah, Cammy and I have resorted to getting those thingies, two-way headpieces, so that we can talk to each other in real time, and they're known in the cruiser community as marriage savers. And I can see why. You know, the tone of the voice when there's a lot of wind and a lot going on tends to escalate, and it can simulate emotions that are not actually there. So it's good to have a way to talk calmly. I'm glad this is done. Things are looking good. As soon as we crossed to the first cape on the west side of the island, as on cue, the wind picked up, and we had a nice 18 to 22 knot breeze on the beam, and we started hauling. So I'm glad we got the chain done before that happened. And although there was only about 6-7 miles to go, I decided not to raise the main because the sea state was quite choppy, and I didn't want to put myself on deck and put myself at risk unnecessarily. There was a little bit of current against, so it did take some time to get there, but the sailing was pleasant, and wind was great, and we got to Tayo High in no time flat.